guys, the way I was so much in pain. I remember when they came to give us medication, I thought I was dying. I thought that was the moment that I was dying. And my boyfriend was calling me and trying to know what's going on. And you know, guys, for me, it was also painful. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anelisa Mhlongo Usisomdala Molweni Babem. So thank you to everyone that subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you comment down below, like this video and share if possible. So today I just wanted to do a story time. You know, I've been wanting to do the story time, but I'm just a bit nervous because it's something that it's an event that really touched me. So yeah, it's an event that really touched me in my life, and I'm starting to feel like, you know, my YouTube channel is just my diary, you know, where I can just vent and, you know, I talk about things. But you know, this story, I just wanted to tell it because I just want to kill the stigma of miscarriages in South Africa and how women don't share these things. Like how women don't share these things until you are the one who shares with someone and someone tells you that that happened to me. And I think most of the damage that, or let me say the after effects that come with having a miscarriage are caused by you thinking that you are the only person who has experienced this thing and no one has ever experienced this thing in the whole wide world. So that's why I just wanted to share my story. And that time when I was going through that, I really needed stories like these. I really needed to hear someone who can tell me that, you know, that's normal, that happened to me. But yeah, guys, so let's go into the video on how I miscarried my first pregnancy. Guys, you can see I'm sweating. Yo, I'm nervous because it's really an event that really touched me. I'm not good with dates, so I won't go on today in saying dates and what. I'm not good, guys. And worst of all, when it comes to something that has affected me in a bad way, I really try to forget it. So yeah, so I'm sure even tracking the events, it will just be messed up. But guys, I think it was in 2018 or end of 2019. I wasn't planning on getting pregnant, but I did have a boyfriend at that time. So we moved with my boyfriend to Johannesburg because we got new jobs with the company that we were doing an internship with, and so we moved together and we went to Joburg. And we were not planning on having any kids, like not. And I've never thought of having any kids at that time. Like, I was someone who never thought about having a child. You know, I always thought maybe I'll adopt a child if it had to come to me having a child. I always have that dream to adopt, you know. So when we started living together, because we shared like a commune sort of, he had his room and I had my room, and we started living together. So guys, I don't think the symptoms of pregnancy, but I didn't have like the symptoms of pregnancy. It was just that my period was late, you know. So we're just like, why is your period late? Like, it's sort of like now like a month, maybe a month had passed with me not getting my period, and I didn't think it was it. Like, I don't know, I'm a woman and I wasn't preventing at the time, but I didn't think it was it, you know? So yeah, we just decided, you know what, let's buy a pregnancy test. We went to a pharmacy because I used to live in Centurion, so close to Spa. So I lived there. We went to the Spa pharmacy. We bought a pregnancy test, we bought the cheapest pregnancy test because I was like, you know what, let's not waste any money. Like, let's not waste any money about this thing because it's not what you think it is. We tested with that and it came back positive. Like, the lines were both clear positive. Okay, and even when we saw that, we didn't believe. Like, it was unbelievable. And the way it was so unbelievable, I'm sure we bought like 3 or 4 other tests just to make sure. So we did buy those tests, and yeah, I took the test and they were all positive, and I think I even took the clear blue one. Yeah. So now I was just panicking. I was just like, I want something that's accurate. Like, maybe these things are just not it. So I took the clear blue test, and that one told me that you are sort of like 3 weeks pregnant. Oh, guys. Okay, so we really had like mixed emotions. At that time, it was like my first job, and it was so early in the job. I'm sure I started in June that year and I got pregnant in October of that year. So I was a bit like, oh no, like at that time I was someone who was so career driven. Like, I wanted to make the best of my career, because yeah, it's a career that I never thought I would ever enter in, and the way that I got the career, so I was just like, oh no, like maybe this thing is just gonna ruin my opportunities, like my promotions, my bonus. That was what was ringing in my head, but we were happy about it. We both never had the experience, so we were experiencing this thing for the first time together, and we were so happy and excited. I'm sure the way that I was happy and excited, I ended up sharing it with people, because you know, guys, like when you've never been pregnant, and when your mindset, in most of the time, you take pregnancy as, you know, when people get pregnant in high school, you take pregnancy as something that's not good that much. So yeah, I did have that kind of thing, and I was someone who used to think that when I get pregnant one day, I want to get pregnant when I'm married, and I thought, okay, the storyline is not going as planned, but who cares, guys? Like, who cares about the way we plan our things and our dreams and our goals? So guys, I then after that I continued. Yeah, I was pregnant, but you know the funny thing about, okay, then I went to see a doctor. So there was a doctor there, and then I asked the doctor to check with the scan if the pregnancy is in the correct place. But the funny thing was that I was experiencing so much pain, but this pain usually happened in the morning. So it happened like in the beginning of the pregnancy. I was just feeling like when you've got like extreme period pains. That's what I was feeling each and every morning. So I did go to the doctor, and I did try to ask the doctor to check me out, like what's going on. And the doctor was like, no, it's normal. And yeah, when he checked the pregnancy, the embryo was in the uterus. So that's why he was not that alarmed that much, and he was like, maybe it's because it's your first pregnancy, that's why maybe you're experiencing these kind of pains. Guys, these pains were, you know, when you've got like bad period pains. I'm not someone who had period pains, but I was just like, oh, maybe that's how pregnancy is. And I even remember telling my then colleague about it, and she was like, I never experienced that when I was pregnant, but yeah, okay, we move. Okay, then I went home after that. I think I had told my mother about it, and yeah, I think I told most of people that time. And then I went home. It was December. I enjoyed December. I did everything, Jay. We Decembered, we partied. It was January the 1st. I think it was on January the 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, but it was just a few days after New Year. And, you know, I even that time, I was someone who was like, guys, when you are pregnant, I think women will understand that sometimes you do have mixed emotions about something. Even now, we do have mixed emotions of becoming mothers. We feel like motherhood is difficult. We feel a lot of emotions about that, but it really deep down, it doesn't mean that you don't want that. You don't want it. It's just that you're just feeling a lot of emotions at once. But with that pregnancy, I didn't have any nausea. I was fine. Then I think I just went to the toilet, and then when I peed, the way it is. So when I went to the toilet to pee, I peed, and then when I wiped my pee, I saw blood, and then I was like, okay, that's weird. How can I see blood? Like, how can I see blood? And then, guys, when something is happening to you, you really don't believe. Like, it was like blood. Like, what is going on? So I told my mother. I just decided, you know what? Let me just tell my mother. I know my mother is not someone who gets alarmed by things, but she was also alarmed. My mother doesn't like going to the doctor most of the time, so she's someone who doesn't normally go to or like going to the doctor. But that time she was like, no, let's go to the doctor. So because she has a family doctor, sort of someone that she goes to often. So we went there, and I waited, guys. So when I went into that room, and guys, sometimes I feel like, but I don't want to blame doctors, because my sister's a doctor. But sometimes I feel like doctors are insensitive, because sometimes the things that they are telling you, or things that are happening to you, are happening for the first time, and you don't even understand what's going on. But I'm sure she stuck up some fingers, and then I think she was checking if like my cervix is open, and she was basically asking me, Haibo, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Like, what did you put to, like? And I was like, why? Like, why, guys, would I put anything, like any weird things? I never even thought about like terminating the pregnancy. I never thought, like, I besides offending anyone, I just feel like at my age, at that time, I didn't think terminating was an option for me. Like, because I didn't see the reason why, because I was going to be able to afford a child at that time. So I didn't think. So the doctor was like, yeah, I think there's something going on, but when she checks with the scan, the implantation is still there, so I should just go home and bed rest. Maybe if I bed rest, it's going to stop. So I did, guys, go. Don't worry, guys, not that I'm being emotional. It's just that I'm someone, you see, my something bad that happens to me, I tend to just try to take it into I don't know where in my brain, and bringing it back is so hard. And so guys, then I went home. I tried to bed rest, but the way, guys, I was in pain. Like, I was having like the worst period pains that I could ever have in my life. Like, so I just decided, you know what, let me just go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I went to the casualty as the hospital, and I told them what was going on, and they took my pee. I was triaged, I think, because I didn't, like, I had a medical aid, but the medical aid that I had didn't take you to private hospitals. It just paid for your doctor's appointments, but it never paid for my my hospital, for private hospital, which I think was something else that led to this event becoming so traumatic. Because maybe if I did go to like a private hospital, maybe they would have dealt with this thing quicker than what happened. You know, guys, the torture of sitting at a government hospital like maybe for 3 hours, and then I went in, and then a doctor put in fingers and checked me and was like, no, the cervix is still closed, and I think just go and rest it off and try to bed rest. And then that doctor gave me a 2 weeks leave, like to bed rest. I went home, guys. I was still very hopeful, and I think my family are not people who, like, they're not people who alarm you or do anything crazy. So they were also like hopeful, and yeah. So when I went home, I think at home I stayed, maybe I went to the hospital on Thursday, and then I stayed at home. Guys, the pain I was going through, I don't know, like, I don't know what kind of excruciating pain. Those were like close to labor pains. I was having those, and they were almost like labor pains because they would come and go. You see, those kind of pains, when they are there, guys, it was torture. So you can see, guys, that the pregnancy was not even like, maybe it was I was like October, November, December, January. Yeah, it was like 4 months into the pregnancy. But yo, guys, that pain was daunting. It was torture. Like it came, and you see, the more the days went on, it didn't give me any long break, because in the beginning it first gave me like breaks and I could, you know, eat and do it. But as time went, it wasn't giving me break. It was just there constantly, and I just saw it. No, I could see my Jesus now. I could see Jesus coming. And I think it was Sunday that day. I asked my mother, no, just take me to hospital. I need to go to hospital. I don't know why, but I need to go to hospital. I need to be in a drip or close to ICU because this pain is too much, guys. But the bleeding was not that much, which is weird. The bleeding was just like a light period, like on your first day kind of light period. So that's why we usually hope that it was going to end, and then the pregnancy will continue. And some people always say that some people go on their periods even when they're pregnant. So that's why at home people are just like, maybe it's because of that, like that's what's happening to you. It's nothing serious. But that one was just above being that. It was serious. I needed to go to hospital. And I remember, guys, like the most irritating thing is when I went to hospital, I had to explain to the person at the gate why I'm at the hospital. I had to explain to the receptionist why am I at the hospital. I had to explain, guys, the time I reached a doctor, I had to explain maybe to 5 people in the hospital. But maybe that's how the procedure works, and I'm not sure how that procedure works, but maybe that is how it works. So when I got to the hospital, there was no doctors at that time, but there was nurses that were available. But those nurses just told me, you know what, just sit. I think I was at casualty, but where you see, I don't know where you see the doctors and the nurses. So I was just sitting there. And then I remember when it was my turn, or when they called me in, I had like the most, I've never had like that pain. Like I felt like my uterus, or I felt like, guys, when you feel like you want to push something out, that's how I felt. Like I felt like I need to maybe go and pee, or I need to go pee. Yeah, I think that's the feeling that I had. And when I got to that hospital, like the nurse that was there, I think it's these exchange students that come from other countries. So he was still talking to me. I think maybe he was just excited to see someone who can speak English fluently, and was still asking me like, what are your symptoms? What he was still asking me. And I was just like, you know what? I just want to go to the toilet. I want to go like now to the toilet. And when I tried to stand up from the bed, I just felt something pop. It was just like, that kind of sound, and then blood just started flowing. And yeah, guys, and yeah, they were just like, I just lay on the bed and and wait for the doctor, because the doctor was not there. And the pain just disappeared. The pain disappeared, and I just felt like I'm okay. Like I felt like me after that. And I had like a lot of blood, and and I waited for the doctor to come. And again, guys, I do feel like, I don't know, guys. I don't want to say like medical procedure. Let me just say that medical procedures are insensitive, because I remember that doctor just came to me and was just like, open your legs, and was putting like his fingers inside me, and just or like there was a nurse who cleaned me up. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that nurse. Once it was a male guy, and I'm so grateful, guys. When you get someone who takes care of you at that moment in your life, you always cherish them. And so when the doctor arrived, the doctor just came in and put in gloves, and was just putting his hands inside of me, and just taking out, I don't know, guys, I don't understand what the doctor is taking out, but it was like the doctor was extracting things. I don't want to be too like, I don't want to be too TMI, as people will say, but the doctor was like, is extracting a lot of blood clots and all those things, and was extracting that. And then after that was said, oh, okay, then he wrote that it is what is it, how do they call it at the hospital, natural termination or something like that. But I think then he wrote that it was a natural termination. The pregnancy was terminated. And then after that, I think I told my mother, or I'd have already told my mother. Then they took a wheelchair and took me to the ward. And I thought, guys, that was the end. Like, I felt like, okay, after this, it's very traumatic, but you know what? It is what it is. I think I'm someone, I don't know, maybe that's why sometimes I think I accept things. I don't want to dwell on them that much. I just want to accept and move on and forget about it, guys. I accepted that and I moved on. And when I was at the ward now, so you are put in a general ward. I think that's a general ward. Yeah, it was a general ward. And I just had like this urge of going to the toilet each minute and going to the toilet. Guys, I felt like I'm seeing my God, my ancestors. The pain I was in, my legs were even numb from the pain. It was so painful, guys. When people used to talk about abortions and miscarriages, I never thought that it was so painful. And I think because I'm God's favorite, I'm not someone who has like the most excruciating period pains. And that time, it was my first time feeling so much pain. Like, Yo guys, I respect a uterus. Like a uterus, I think that's the most painful organ in a woman's body. Like the way it radiates pain, it's too much. I was numb, guys. I remember I even called the nurse. I was like, give me medication. And the nurse was just like, I don't know, medication will be at 10. Yo guys, I never felt so much pain. I was going to the toilet, coming back, going to the toilet, pushing out like blood clots. And yo guys, that experience is very, I don't wish that experience to like anyone. Like, yo, that is so traumatic. It's painful at the same time, and you're just thinking, Kandi, why? Because this pregnancy is already like gone. Like, why don't I just enjoy life and carry on with my life? And then after that, I was just praying, guys. Like, then they said that they're going to take me to theater and clean me up. And that time I was just praying that, can this pregnancy just be simple? Like, can this thing just be simple? Let me not go. Like, I didn't even want to go to theater. And then in the morning, and how I was also excited, and now this thing is happening. When someone asks you questions like, why is this thing happening to us? Like, and we had like a lot of bickering of back and forth. Like, yeah, I'm sure this happened because you were feeling a bit guilty, or let me say, not guilty, like you are feeling, you are like, you didn't want the pregnancy, but that I think that hurt a bit, because that's why I'm telling you guys that even the best things that happen to us in life, I don't want to cry, so even the best things that happen to us, guys, in life, we do have doubts about it, but it doesn't mean that we don't want it. And I felt like he was being unfair in a way, but I knew that it was coming from a place of hurt. I was feeling pain for even my mom. Like, we were both excited, like, yo guys, that night, I think that's where, besides the physical pain, that's where emotional pain came into it. I don't want to cry, guys. But yeah, guys, I'm thinking about it. That's when everything hit me. It was so hard. It was like even going to people and like, what will I say? Yo guys, Zokalak internet. Now I have to go like to the people that I've told about this pregnancy, and tell them that it's like, it was so hard to I don't know, let's say undo, but maybe now I'm dying, maybe it's my time. And I was in so much pain. I remember when I slept that time, I just thought maybe I won't wake up. That's what I wanted to feel like. I didn't want to wake up that time. But God always has a greater plan. Like, we always preach that God has a greater plan for us. And after that, when the doctor came in, and I could see that the doctor was asking me, where's your boyfriend? Maybe I tried to terminate, and then now the termination is not going as I planned, like, which was not the case. Then he checked me and he was like, no, I think because you're not feeling any pain anymore, I think just go and get a scan. And then I went to have a scan, and then they said that everything that was inside was it was naturally excreted, so I didn't need like that artificial thing to do it in theater. I'll just put in the name here, what that thing is called, like the surgical name. And after that, I went home, and guys, there's just a lot of, I think there's just a lot of things after that changed me. I think, yeah, I think that I think, yeah, other things came, but I think that one was so painful. Like, you know, when something becomes painful in a way that you even struggle to pray, like you just say, God, let your will be done, and that's all. You don't even want to pray again to God. And it affected me a lot when it came to work. I felt like the work environment is so insensitive, and when it comes to losing a pregnancy, no matter like how, you know, no matter like no matter how no matter like it was just a 4 months, but it's still something that it was a big event in my life, and whatever happened was big to me. And I felt like people at work were just like, send us notes, like, we'll come back to work, like, kind of things. And because I did have like the 10 days that I was given by that doctor, I used that one. And yeah, maybe I think I should have just took the 3-day leave or something at work. Maybe they were going to be happy. Yeah, guys, and it changed me. It made me look at the work environment differently. Like, I never looked at the work environment the same after that. I saw that it's such an insensitive place to be around. They don't care about you. They don't care about your health. They don't care about anything about you. All they want is you working. Like, that's what I felt about the work environment. It built so much anger in me. And at that time, the previous year, I'd lost a colleague, someone who was very close to me. It was someone that someone I shared a desk with, and yeah, he passed on. And I was just going through a lot of changes, emotional pain, loss. Guys, I've never went through such a loss, and I felt like I think I don't want to self-diagnose, but I think that's when my depression started. Yeah, I feel like that's when I lost like the love of things that I used, like the things that I used to love. You see, that time in my life, I didn't see anything that I felt like life is not enjoyable anymore. I don't know why, but I felt so lost. I felt so lost, guys. I can't believe I'm sharing this story. I just wanted to tell it because of that. I want people to know that this thing happens to the most of us. Maybe it happens to like 3 women in 5, you know. Because when you tell people your story, people are like, you know, that happened to me. Or someone even tells you a story that is worse. I don't say that someone telling you a story that worse takes away the pain that you have. Your pain is your pain. And yeah, but I think it's something that as women we have to share each and every day, and let it be out there for other women to see. And when they go through it, they don't feel alone. And then coming to the point where people were like, you have to do traditional rituals. And yeah, even from my boyfriend's side, they were like, yeah, we have to do traditional rituals. I thought about this thing, and I was like, you know what, guys, I've never done like a traditional ritual. Like, I never done anything like traditional. So now that I'm going through this, now I'm starting to tap into the traditional sphere, and I don't think that was ever going to help me the way that I felt. And I felt like I'm someone who prays. I usually go to church, and that's what I do. So I said, you know what, this is God's plan, and God will be done. You know, let me not start doing crazy things now because I'm going like through this, like, would I ever have done a traditional ritual if maybe I was happy and was gonna have my child? Would I have done it? No. So why am I doing it now? Why am I complicating my life? Not saying that doing traditional rituals is bad, but it's what you like to do. Like, you shouldn't be forced by people to do that, and people telling you that, you know what, because you haven't done any traditional ritual, you're gonna have bad luck for the rest of your life. I've never done any traditional ritual, so maybe I was already cursed, so I didn't need anything at that moment. And I didn't feel like people who are busy pushing that agenda, which was not from my family side. People were like, did you go do any cleansing or what? I think you don't have to say that. Like, if someone wants to go through a cleansing, they will go through a cleansing. If someone wants to go to church and be prayed for, they will go to church and get prayed for. Yeah, guys. And after that, the way I was so traumatized, guys, you know, when you tap into adulthood, like, you feel like I was a kid all along. Like, I thought I was grown, like I'm a grown woman when Beyonce tells you. But jokes aside, but you know, you just feel like I wasn't grown enough. Like, I can't handle this. I even asked at work to get therapy. Like, I asked my manager to book me a psychologist, because I couldn't take it, guys. I couldn't take it. I didn't feel any drive, any purpose in life. But I did go to that psychologist once, and I felt like we were not connecting. So I think that's what I even heard, like, now this year, when we were talking with the work psychologist, and she was telling us that, you know, sometimes it doesn't work with your psychologist. Like, with a psychologist, it's like any other doctor. It's about, do you connect with that person? And I felt like maybe I didn't connect with that lady, and yeah, and it's something that I still need to. It's something that I still need to go for therapy for, and so yeah. And after that, I waited for, how long did I wait? 2018, 2019. Yeah, I waited for almost a year, and I got pregnant with my rainbow baby, which is Umlilo. Yeah, and sure, she is a rainbow baby, and yeah, and I'm very, very happy. And that, you know, the name Umlilo is like, when I was pregnant with her, not that I'm very like, well, not that I'm someone who's very, very spiritual, but you know, guys, when I was pregnant with her, I felt like it was like the revelation of God, you know, when I don't know the verse, guys. I never went to, well, I didn't go to Bible school, but yeah, but it felt like the verse, you know, when fire came down to the disciples, and they started speaking in tongues, you know, because they felt like the presence of God. And everywhere where God is, or trying to show his presence, there's always a light or a fire, or, you know. So that's why I named my daughter Umlilo, which was a revelation that God is here. So yeah, so we've come to the end of the story, guys. I hope the story is not that sad, you know, but it's just giving awareness, and it's giving that assurance to the woman who's going through the same thing, that don't worry, it happens. And you know, and having a miscarriage affects you in your next pregnancy. It's something that I forgot to say. It does affect you in your next pregnancy. You're always worried. Like, on my first pregnancy, I was never worried. Like, I was happy. I didn't care. But in my second pregnancy, any pain that I felt, I was just like, oh my God. I was waiting so much to get to that end mark of where I lost my pregnancy, because it was 4 months. I was waiting and praying, because they say that like miscarriage happens in like 12 weeks. So I was waiting for those 12 weeks, like it's so traumatic, like going through that. And yeah guys, if you have any other questions, you can ask me in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure that you comment down below. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.